Chani, I have a bunch of quotes here, and I'm going to read about half of them and get your hot take. Now, obviously, CES 2025 happened, and it may even still be happening. I don't know if I think it goes to the 10th, if I'm not mistaken. But the important conversation came the way of a couple of pieces. Now, one piece we're not talking about, and that is the mock-up Switch that's making the rounds. And if that's what the size of it looks like, pause. I'm all in. That is a much bigger screen. I like the idea that it has magnetic.
Double pause.
Yeah, double
Well,
pause.
man, calm down, sir.
Where is this going? The magnetic, Joy Cons. I hope that's real because the other way was they just did good for me. I have monster size hands, so I can't use the Joy Cons unless they're attached to the actual console, and even then, it's still too small. But that story, I'm going to imagine that we're going to get some sort of information soon with the Switch 2. I cannot wait. That's going to be a day one buy for me. But Hargeet, Xbox and handhelds has been the talk of the town the last 24 hours, and for good reason. Now, I was hoping that we'd get an announcement of some sort at some point that a handheld would come out this year. It doesn't look like that's going to happen. The way Xbox is handling it, though, according to Jason Ronald, who is, of course, the VP of Next Generation, every device that you have, whether it be a ROG Ally, whether it be a Lenovo, whether it be a Steam Deck, it is going to have Xbox. Like I don't want to say it's a layover. They're making a system that is going to be an Xbox OS first, and I don't want to say layered over. It's going to be more Xbox than it is Windows, and I think that's what we've all been waiting for, right? Well, here are a couple of quotes from Jason Ronald during his interview at CES 2025. He says this, Hargeet, we've been really innovating for a long time in the console space. And as we partner across the industry, it's really about how do we bring those innovations that we've incubated and developed in the console space and bring them to PC and bring them to the handheld gaming space. Now, the article goes on to say when they caught up with Jason Ronald after the event, he confirmed that Microsoft is looking at combining Xbox and Windows experiences together and that we should see changes this very year rather than needing to wait for an Xbox handheld that might still be years away. This is another quote from Jason Ronald. He goes on to say, Hargeet, I would say it's bringing the best of Xbox and Windows together because we have spent the last 20 years building a world-class operating system, but it's really locked to the console. What we're doing is we're really focused on how do we bring those experiences for both players and developers to a broader Windows ecosystem. Now, obviously, you got a chance to read some of the articles as well. Okay, what are your thoughts, Hargeet, on this? Again, this is what we've all been waiting for. Again, from people like me, like I have a ROG Ally, and it's great, and it does a lot of things. But what I'm really looking for is not a desktop version of Xbox. I want an Xbox experience like I get on my console. It sounds like that is what they're going for. And the Windows aspect is going to be hidden behind it, just like it is for the consoles. There is Windows in there. We just don't see it. We don't, interact with it. We simply press a power button on, we pick a game, and we go. That's what it sounds like they're doing. I want to get your thoughts and your excitement for this happening this year.
Yeah, I mean, so look, this has been stuff I've been saying for years, right?
Yep.
Like Asante, we've been talking about this for a while as well, right? Like this is just the path we expected. So if you look in the future, you just say, where does it seem to be directing? Like the obvious next step is why not take advantage of your superpower, which is Windows, and merge that together, right? You're using it already. You've customized what you have. Why not take that and say, all right, let's bridge these two together? Because look, the world is moving forward, right? And they're recognizing it. And the majority of the new generation of gamers are staying on mobile and PC, not to console. Console may be there. That's fine, right? But they're moving to mobile and PC. It's like, well, you own one of those and you're trying to get onto the other one, right? So why not take advantage of it? And that was really just it. It's like the point that I was looking at was like, well, it just looks obvious to me that they would merge these two together. It solves so many problems. And then the whole idea of games being everywhere just doesn't matter. At that point, it just doesn't matter, right? Because PC is PC. And if you have that already, all those games are there. Everything. It's all there. So you just inherit everything.
Yeah.
Right. And that's just the way it is. And so, like, I've been looking forward to them saying, why don't we merge these together? The base layer is there. They already have it. It's Windows. They just need to take some of the feature sets and say, well, let's bring it over here. And most importantly, the UI. The part that you have to worry about is updates, right? And if I don't know who has a Surface or not, I've had Surfaces for quite a while. Surface updates with Windows Update. You don't go out separately and say, I get the driver for the graphics card. I get the driver for the network card. I get it. It's all automatic. It just does it for you in the background, right? That's what you want. Just like on Xbox. I don't worry about it. I don't care. They own the hardware. They know what's in there. Let them deal with it. I get a little progress bar and it's done, right? That's the way it should be. I don't want to deal with all the little things. Oh, go here and get that there. No. You deal with the whole thing. That's what you do when you partner on these things, right? You say, look, I know the hardware. I know what you have in here because we partner together. This is what's in here. I'm going to make sure that the entire update process is seamless. That's what needs to happen. There can't be any Windows dialog box that you have to mouse click on. That has to go away, right?
Right.
All that stuff has to go away. Right now, even if I try to like hack it and do whatever I want with Windows, it's still bloody Windows, right? So I put up Play Night or something like that in front. Every now and then you still have a dialog box pop up. You need that keyboard and mouse. Got to be controller only.
Yes.
And they have it. They own it. They have it. It's Xbox. It's already it's right there, right? They just have to bridge the two together. Now, how they make that work is you still have Windows and you flip into the Xbox mode. You have, devices that say, nope, it's just full-time Xbox. You will never see the desktop. All sorts of options are open, right? We will see what they do. We will see what the partners want to do. They may want to say, we want to offer choices, right? That you can flip back and forth and you can say, hey, I want to have the Windowsy mode because I want to go do some, modding or something. Okay, fine, whatever, right? Maybe you say, no, it's always going to be Xbox and only Xbox. Okay, fine, right, whatever. So let them figure that out. But that is what I've been expecting. At some point, that's where it's going to go. The beauty of the partner device thing, now it's basically any Windows 12 device, it's an Xbox. Now you got 1 billion install base, right? So as far as the games coming to you, that's done. All the games are coming to you, right? You're getting all the games. It doesn't matter. The next question is, do they bring your existing catalog forward? And remember Sarah Bond saying backwards and future
forward compatibility.
Right?
Yep.
So I think that's what they mean, right? Whether that turns out to be the case or not, is that you will be able to bring your back cat of Xbox into these devices. How do they do that? Well, I mean, it's virtualization. The question is licensing. It's always just licensing. As long as they can license it, it can be done, right? They can absolutely virtualize it and do it. It's how they're doing backwards compatibility today. So they can absolutely bring it forward. The question is, will they be able to or not? And I hope they can, because that becomes the all-in-one, right? I just bring up an Xbox app and my entire back catalog saves. Everything is there. Holy crap, is that an awesome device, right? Whether it's a landed thing under your TV. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to add real quick to your point on that notion that of their licensing concerns. I was having a similar conversation with the One Everborn Saga, as most people know him, and basically he did come up with a very interesting notion, which is recently all these negotiations would have had to be redone for the cloud generation, right? As recently as 2016 and onward, these conversations would have had to have happened already, and none of these things that that you're talking about, which you are absolutely correct, 100%. We've been talking about this forever. None of these things have happened in a vacuum. They've been building to this for some time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you would think that they had the wherewithal to write their
foresight.
contracts in a way that makes this situation dynamic for them in a licensing perspective. But time will tell, right? Maybe this is much ado about nothing, right? Maybe this is all a moot point because they've already solved the problem, and they solved it back in 2016 when they started bringing everything to the cloud. Right?
And you might see selective, right? That, hey, this publisher, yes, that publisher, no, right? We will find out, right? We don't know, right? So as we move along, we'll see what happens. But that's what I'm hoping happens, right? That like the majority of your back cat just comes with you. And so you just bring your Xbox One Series, Xbox 360 games. It's just right there. You just have them on this device. It runs your Epic. It runs your Steam, everything all in one, right?
Although,
at that point, yep, go ahead. Sorry.
Let's be clear though. And someone in the chat pointed that out, and I completely agree. One piece of the puzzle that may be the elephant in the room is you're not paying your normal console price for that device.
Oh no, you're spending $600, $700, $800.
Welcome to the new world, ladies and gentlemen.
So here's the question, right? Does it need to be more performant than a Switch, than a Steam Deck, than a ROG Ally? We will see, right? Because ultimately those are devices that work. What is the performance profile needed to be a Series S? You have to have at least that, right? So if you can say you're a Series S or more, right, or that then you're all set, right? You can play all the games, right? So that's what they'll have to figure out. Those are this is the stuff they have to work through, right? These are partner devices, so they're going to test the heck out of it. But that's the point, right? As long as you meet that profile of a Series S or higher, you're good to go. You don't have to worry about it. Now, the flip side is you could also say you have entitlement to the PC version, right?
Sure.
If that's an option, then it doesn't matter. You can just play with all the settings and do whatever you want, right? You can say, I want to have this frame rate. You do whatever you like. But if it is your catalog from the Xbox, it's got to at least be a Series S. Right? Everything else should just work. It's fine. But at least a Series S. And if they do that, I think you're good. And I think a lot of these devices will have that. Now, I don't know what the Z2 Extreme does. I haven't seen the specs. I don't know if they've been put out yet or not. They just said it's better. Like, well, I don't know what that means. So if they show me like actual core speeds and stuff like that, right, and how many how many T-flops or things like that, at least I can then make a comparison. But I don't know. So the Z2 Extreme just got like sort of announced, launched, whatever, right, as part of the Lenovo Legion Go, whatever, right? They have that there. So I don't know what the specs are on that. If that meets that level, you're done. There you go. That's what you're going to have, right? We will see, though. That's what they're going to have to figure out, right? So they say, okay, it's got to be minimum this, that, then it works as a full Xbox type device. Certainly anything beyond that, sure. It could also be more expensive, but you can also have more capability, right? You're thinking portables. It could just be a machine that's sitting under your TV, right? A console that's under your TV that has much more capability, right? Great. You want to spend more? I would. I would love to have my 4090 PC just boot up as a freaking Xbox, and I don't ever have to see a stupid dialogue box in an update thing that I don't want to do. Like, it would be so much nicer, right, if it just booted up as an Xbox and I just play my games, but I have the full performance of 4090.
And that's the interesting part, Cargeet, because again, talking with Kay Asante, we kind of feel that this ideology that Microsoft is going to have their standard box. They're going to be releasing their Xbox, right? That's what it's going to be. It's expected to be this hybrid console where someone like me who does not want to delve into PC, right? I do not want a tower. I do not want a rig. I simply just want to get a box that plays the games. Now, the way that it was explained to me by Kay Asante is that places like, let's say, for instance, Alienware, you're not going to build you're not going to build this box, but they're going to have 3 levels of it.
Yeah, it's got to be something that they have.
Right. It's going to be one that's going to be an Xbox you can get from Microsoft, a medium, and then the high tier one. And the high tier one is going to be what you're talking about. Maybe it has 4090 capabilities. you're not going to know because you're not building it. You don't have to do anything but literally plug it in and it goes. That is the world that Xbox wants to make gaming be, and I'm here for it. Because I like you.
Exactly.
I will buy that $1,100 Xbox.
Exactly, right? It's just your budget, right? They will offer choices. You can have a low tier, $300, $400. You want a higher tier? You want to spend $2,000? You want to spend $3,000? Sure, no problem. Go ahead, right? But it's going to be a box fully like partnered on, right? The whole point is that Microsoft knows exactly what to update, right? So that everything is done seamlessly, right? You got to make sure it's something they fully know, right? So yeah, you're not going to be building it. It is going to be something that is partnered, right? That's the point.
Yes.
You notice the Steam, like the Steam OS Lenovo, right? It's something they partner on. They know it. It's going to update seamlessly. That's the whole point, right? It is managed, right? That's the point of it. So that's what you're going to have. Something similar to that. Partner devices, they'll have different capabilities. And then you'll pick what you want. This is a better world, in my opinion, than where we are now with like you have 3 boxes. Well, what if you had 40 boxes and you choose whichever one you like? Do you like green? Do you like one that's 15 colors? Sure. You can, whatever you want, you can make it so have whatever type you like, have a different shape, right? This is the beauty of it, right? The world is different. Like when you buy a laptop, there's so many options. That's the point. You just pick what you like. So, that world is much better from my perspective. And then game wise, you have everything. That's the way to go. Like the whole limitation thing just goes away.
Right out the window.
Buy the thing, and you
again,
just play your games.
All the walls have been torn down at that point because you might be able to even play PlayStation games because if they're on Steam and
they're on Steam, they're on Epic, you play them.
You'll be able to play them just fine.
On top of that, there's nothing stopping it from running their overlay, so you can still get your trophies. So it doesn't bother, it's just Windows. So you do whatever you want. You can actually run the trophies, right? If they have a store, and they should do it, if they have a store, put it on the same thing. And you can buy PlayStation games, buy any other third-party game through their store. Fine. Who cares? Just play the games. That's the thing, right? So I like that kind of world where it's all torn down. You just pick a device you like and play your games, right? Now you have 2 big options, Steam OS or Microsoft's, whatever they're doing, right? Maybe PlayStation will come up with something open as well. That'd be awesome, but we'll see if they do that. I doubt they will. I think these are the 2 players for now. I think Android's the other really cool option there. If somebody wants to go make an Android-y type device, but we'll see. We'll see. I think that's the longer term plan. That's what I see anyways, because your TV is just going to be able to do this too. And, at some point your TV is going to have so much power that will be a platform people will want to target. That's just the way it's going to be. So
that would be for the ultra casual, right? Like the person that actually does not want to be bothered going to buy any box. They literally say, "Oh, it's on my TV. I have a gamer's hub. This is great." They have a controller and they go.
Yep, exactly. And that doesn't mean streaming, by the way. That means like literally just download a game, just like you do on your phone. You can just download a game and you just play it, right? And it's got enough oomph, it'll just play it locally. Now, will it be as good as like a dedicated, 5090? No, obviously not. But for most people, it's getting to the point of it's good enough. It's good enough. They don't need more. It's good enough. I can play my game. It's good enough, right? And that's where it's going to end up being. So, but we'll see. That'll probably be 10, 15 years from now. But
more than likely. But again, the fact that Microsoft is, and that's the thing that you have to give them credit for. They get a lot of arrows for being first. Sometimes they're too ahead of the curve. Sometimes they drag their heels. Kay and I kind of agree that they've had this information for quite some time. They've dragged their heels in the handheld market. They should have been here already. They really should have been. But they're,
and then the combining thing that should have happened a while ago too. But what really kicked it is Steam decided to beat them to the punch.
Yes.
And so, oh wait, you have competition? Holy crap! Suddenly, now everything's churning. We got to get it done. We're going to be putting it out now. Oh, okay, yeah. Gee, when you get competition, what happens? You get kicked in the ass, and you suddenly have to do stuff. I love it.
Well, I mean, again, it's why they have 30 studios, right? Because at one point they had 5, and they were getting their teeth kicked in. and
Gotta
now they
compete.
have, I mean, look, they innovated in what it is to have a home console as powerful as Series X. They innovated with Xbox Game Pass and a subscription service for gaming that's never been done before outside of like GameFly, where you'd pick a game, they'd send it to you like Netflix used to be, and then you send it back. And that was innovated, and it changed the industry. Now, there are people still kicking and screaming that it doesn't work. We talked about that earlier, and people want to see it go away. It's not going to go away. It has over 30 million subscribers, maybe closer to 40 at this point, and it's only going to continue to grow because Xbox now is in a position where they could logistically 1 to 2 months release a first party game. We know games coming all the way out into 2027. That is something to be marveled at, right? At one point, we had no idea what was Microsoft going to do in regards to games. And that's where the mantra, well, Xbox has no games. Now it's reversed. Xbox has too many freaking games, and I can't keep up.
Yep. And we're also getting confirmation, I guess, from multiple sources that the 2026 date is kind of real for the next gen.
Yes.
For Xbox anyways. So
yes.
Yep.
Yes, it is. I look, what I will say in regards to that specifically, it is not a rumor. I do not want to elaborate any further on it because I was not given permission to talk about what I do know. I will say the 2026 date is not made up. I'll just end it there. But que asante. I got 2 more quotes here from Jay Ron, who we got a chance to hang out with in June. What a great dude.
Awesome human. Yeah.
Yes, he is. Yeah, indeed he is. Here is what he had to say. I think at the end of the day, our goal is to make Windows great for gaming on any device. The reality is that the Xbox operating system is built on top of Windows. So there's a lot of infrastructure that we built in the console space that we can now bring to the PC space and really deliver on that premium gaming experience on any device. In closing, he goes on to say there's fundamental interaction models that we're working on to make sure that regardless of the operating system details, it feels very natively like a gaming-centric device and a gaming-centric experience. Ronald goes on to say, the goal is to put an Xbox experience at the center, not the Windows desktop that you have today, which gets me excited because, again, I know how to use Windows, but I'd rather not. I just want an Xbox experience, and we know that what he's talking about, Kay, is happening this year.
Well, I'll tell you that what he's talking about is happening this very moment in my hands, and it's called a Steam Deck.
Oh,
that's what's happening on the Steam Deck, right? That's what happens. This is the reason why the Steam Deck has taken off in such a way it has, right? And everything that he's talking about is literally what the Steam Deck is doing right now, which is a hybrid, which is the best of an operating system, meaning like almost infinite compatibility, which Windows would even do better than Steam would do at this point. And as compatibility goes, as far as games are concerned, and the best of Xbox, which is that great front end UI that everybody's so fond of, right? Now, how this ends up looking, we've discussed this on many occasions. It's actually a very simple solution, right? And most of this stuff has been dog-fooded in the community, meaning like there are some open source and some GitHub stuff that you can kind of modify Windows, or you can install or follow along and get it done on your own. But it's a very inelegant solution, right? So this is something that needs an official solution. And this is why it's exciting that Microsoft is talking the way they are, because what's happening here is whenever you turn Windows on, you're basically loading up a shell. That desktop is the shell. After all the other stuff in the background loads, which by default, all of them are turned to on, right? Then the Windows shell loads and you get your desktop, right? What this purports to do, and one I know for sure, and another I'm speculating. What I'm speculating on is the fact that they would then compartmentalize the driver system and the services system. So you no longer get print spoolers running. You no longer get Teams running. Like all the default things that run no longer run. It just gives you bare bones, like Windows boot, like the barest of bare bones. And then that front end shell, instead of loading desktop, it loads the Xbox UI, right? And that's literally what happens right here, right? You hit the power button, all you see is Steam Deck UI. You reboot it, Steam Deck UI. You play around in it, you get your menus, you get your libraries, you get this, that, and the third. You're always in that UI. The only time you will ever deal with a desktop is if you want to power it off. You literally have to go to the menu button, go to power, and then it asks you, hey, do you want to switch to desktop? And that's right below the power button. Completely out of the way of the experience. So if you are not one who's a tinkerer or even knows what the heck that's about, you may never see that in your day-to-day experience, like ever. And that's how these guys want to move, right? And for handhelds, that'll be a godsend. That'll be just like, and the key factor here, right? Because I agree with both of you, right? I agree that they are once again ceding ground and being caught flat-footed on multiple fronts, because they've had the road ahead of them for a while. The wind has been at their back for a while now. And what do I mean by that? I mean, in the game of getting a handheld out, or at least in the game of getting people excited about the potential of your handheld, you have not even been able to show a silhouette. We hear rumored talk of it coming, right? But we haven't heard not even a single frame of a silhouette from you about it coming. It's all still rumors and speculation, right? And then on the front of your PC UI, the all that other stuff that we keep talking about, you're making overtures to the PC front, but that side is also not quite solid. So much so that your competitor, your main competitor in that space, is now coming to chomp, Tetris size, a Pac-Man size your lunch. You know what I mean? They come, but because let's be clear, when the Lenovo Legion Go 2S launches with SteamOS on it, it will be a solid product. Like, it will be like, okay, this thing is ready to go. Let's go, right? It'll be a solid product. All the bells and whistles will be there and they will be solid. I can't promise that that's what's going to happen when Microsoft inevitably unveils their thing. I bet it will be a progression of instability and ridiculousness until we keep updating until it gets solid eventually. And in that race, you're losing people, right? So this is not me giving them smoke, because I am excited for the turning of the page. I'm just saying they need to move with purpose, because they're kind of, they're seeding the ground. Because in the handheld space, look at this. You haven't even shown a silhouette. Do you know what's happening? Big switches in town. No one's going to listen to you at that point, right? Show us at least a silhouette. Show us a backdrop. Produce a damn GIF. Let people get excited for the potential of your future, so you don't get drowned out in the noise, right? So I'm waiting to see, man. 2025 is here. We're in it now. I'm blessed to be here, and I'm happy for everyone who can hear the sound of my voice. Now we need to see these dudes produce. And I mean, I have faith, man. I think they're going to do it.